What's up guys, Boss here, and in today's video I'm going to be using a 2.8 balloon cycle deck. So I made a video on a 2.8 balloon cycle deck a couple months ago, and this is a different variation. You can see instead of the Hunter, you got the Valkyrie, you got the Princess, and then you have the Tornado. So kind of an interesting variation, but I actually saw a Japanese player push into the top 50 in the world with this deck, so obviously it played well. You can have success with it. You got the Skeletons and Electro Spear kind of just for cycle, and Snowball synergizes so well in balloon decks, especially when there's cycle variation, because it slows down the tower or units next to it, and of course pushes things back. Maybe someone plays a Mega Medium on top of the balloon, you can push it away to buy your balloon more time to make it to the tower. So before we head in the game, as always, if you guys would like to support me, you can use my credit code BOSS in any Supercell game. Really do appreciate all the support from you guys. It does mean a lot. I actually bought this $75 offer myself. You can see I have a ton of gems, and I use some of the gold upgrade cards because I needed to, max my cards out, and it was a pretty good deal. So pretty high up right now, 336 in the world, and we'll try to push up even more. Let's get in the first game. In our first game here against Sergio Ramos, none other than Sergio Ramos, the former world champion in 2017, for those of you guys who remember that. Also, I want to let you guys know, I did a stream on YouTube, my first one in like over a year, and I might be streaming on YouTube more in the future as long as it doesn't affect the algorithm. What I'm actually going to do is probably put the streams as unlisted, so they're not up with the normal videos, and that way you guys can still watch them. For those of you who choose to, go to unlisted and can watch them, because maybe I'll be streaming at a time you're sleeping or whatever, but I'll have to see how it goes. I mean, if I notice I get less views on my regular videos because of streaming, then I may have to stop doing it. But if I notice that, everything's fine and my other videos aren't hurting because of it, then I'll definitely keep doing it, because my first stream was a huge success. I actually averaged like pretty much over 1,000 viewers the whole time and hit a peak of like 1,500, which is like 3 times the amount I normally get on Twitch. And keep in mind, this was just my first stream in like a whole year of not streaming. Anyway, sorry I got kind of distracted from the game, but I just wanted to let you guys know that, so if you see a stream and I'm streaming, you're not surprised, and I let you know a little bit. But a lot of people were very surprised today to see me streaming. But anyway, Sergio Ramos here using Royal Hug Cycle, one of the strongest decks in this whole meta. And believe it or not, I think we actually have a really, really good matchup here, because his only counter to the balloon is the Archer Queen. So if his Archer Queen is out of cycle, he literally can't do anything. I mean, Caged, yeah, it can momentarily distract it, but it's not going to do, that good of a job. And once again, he's going to use his Queen on something other than the balloon. So a little bit of a risky play, because now if I go in for the, balloon, I feel like he's going to get kind of screwed over. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to balloon, because once the Queen dies, as you guys already know, you have to cycle, I believe it's 3 cards to get back to it. So by the time he gets back to it, the balloon might already, be in range to where it gets death damage. And yeah, I think yeah, nice, it does. So he goes for the log, but it's actually not going to hit the princess, so a pretty big mistake coming out from him. Hopefully here we can stop these hogs taking very minimal damage, and yeah, we actually fully counter it. So very, very nice. This is looking super good for us. I'm just going to go for a miner to ensure that we finish off the tower and not give him any value with spells, so I'm going to be playing all my princesses in the lane that has more health. We're going to go Valkyrie here. We're going to go for a Snowball, and we get a really nice and easy first win here. And yeah, not that bad of a matchup, and against a deck that's obviously one of the strongest in the meta. I've made several videos on it, but we take it down nice and easy with this 2.8 balloon cycle deck. Valkyrie really coming in clutch, and that's why Valkyrie, fits well in this deck. Valkyrie, S tier card. Balloon, I would say it's almost an S tier card. S as in it's like broken. That's essentially what I mean by it. And see there, Valk putting in work, Balloon putting in that work to get us the win. So let's search for our next one, and I'll see you guys when I find it. Against Clem here. So we got Skeletons, Electro Spear, Princess, Balloon. Decent starting hand, I would say, because we got a bunch of cycle cards, and really you can start with any cycle you have with this deck. So we'll just miner right now and see what he does in response. So we have P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. typically doesn't have any great answer to the Princess, and also not many balloon counters either, so that's something to look forward to. I mean, of course he probably will have E-Wiz. Hopefully he's using P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam with Battle Ram and not Ram Rider, because Ram Rider is actually a really solid counter to the balloon. So hopefully he doesn't have that variant. But a lot of people in this meta are using that variant, so we gotta watch out for that. Just gonna go Skeletons here, and then probably Miner too, just because I really want to protect the Princess, because it's just annoying. He's got a Prince. What the heck? So he doesn't even have... It's not even any type of P.E.K.K.A deck I'd expect. He has arrows, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, you can't even really blame me for putting the princesses next to each other. Like, I mean, what kind of P.E.K.K.A deck has arrows and Prince in it? I mean, come on. This guy's like... Okay, so far he's shown literally no air cards. And I'm very confused right now. Like, very confused. I'm just gonna Miner again. In the back, there's no way he's got a Tornado. I mean, especially if he's got, you know, arrows. Like, arrows Tornado is just not it. So I know there's no way, even though he's got an off-meta P.E.K.K.A deck, no chance he's got Tornado. So, probably get ready to go for a Balloon here soon, because he just used his E-Wiz, and he hasn't shown any other air counter yet. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and Balloon here. Is it a little risky? It is, but... So he's got a Wizard. Okay, so now we know he's got Wizard. I don't know why he has Wizard, but he does. So Wizard and E-Wiz in the same deck. Not typical synergy that you see, and because he just went P.E.K.K.A on the back and his Wizard's at hand, we're definitely going to Balloon here. See what he does in response. He might just have to give up his... P.E.K.K.A RG. We're against P.E.K.K.A RG, and we're losing to P.E.K.K.A RG. Are you kidding me? There's no way, right? P.E.K.K.A RG. Wizard. And I'm not playing mid-ladder, guys. That's the crazy part. This isn't mid-ladder. So, this guy is just... I don't know what to say. Balloon somehow gets a shot, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to defend an RG push here. Going to have to get a really nice Electro Spirit going there. Valkyrie's going to help clean everything up. That was nice. And we got to try to keep the RGs off the tower if we can. Amazing Electro Spirit there. Okay, this is actually some really solid defense, I would say. So he's going to RG again. I'm probably going to have to NATO that away. And we'll get a Snowball down. Try to get the Balloon to connect. We don't get it to connect, sadly. But we do get death damage, and death damage is good. Get that down just in time. He's going to RG again. So we got to carefully Tornado that away into the other lane. Please don't tell me he's got another spell. Okay. Oh my gosh! 28 trophies. Okay. Whew. Alright, alright. I usually don't react that hard to games, but that was an exciting one. That guy had RG, P.E.K.K.A, Wizard, E-Wiz, Prince. And that was a crazy game. It went back and forth. I was winning at one point when I took his tower, and then he whipped out the RG. I lost my tower, and then... Okay, that was the weirdest game I've played high up on ladder in the longest time. That was insane. I'm not even overreacting. Those are fun games. When you're against an off-meta deck that you've never seen before, that's, you know... I'm sure you guys are used to that all the time. That's like a perfect example of a mid-ladder deck. But I'm not playing mid-ladder right now. That's the thing. So I'm going to Snowball. and see what he wants to do from there. He's gonna go Inferno Drag, so I'm gonna actually go Valkyrie and Balloon at the bridge because his Inferno Drag's out of cycle and his Fireball. Two good counters to the Balloon. I'm gonna get a Miner down too to also tank for the Balloon, and he's got a Tornado. Are you kidding me? So he's got a Building, he's got a Fireball, and he's got a Tornado. So definitely not the matchup that we were hoping for, to say the least. Could we win? Maybe, but not a good matchup at all, to say the least, with that many air counters that this guy has. And he's got a Graveyard, which I literally can't defend. So this would be the perfect example of something that pretty much is a complete hard counter. And if I lose, it's okay. I don't mind showing it because you guys too like seeing, you know, losses, and, you know, I think it's fun because, I mean, this is like what's realistic. I mean, if someone has a Building, a Tornado, and all this, it's going to be pretty hard. But we'll see if we can somehow break through and win. It's going to be really difficult. I basically just Valkyrie to try to bait something out of him. I mean, it didn't even really do much, but I felt like I kind of have to. And I don't know if I can literally do anything. That's the sad thing. But we just have to keep pressuring the other lane here. That's kind of our only chance. We can't play into the lane that he's got all the damage. I mean, that's obvious. You got to always go opposite of that. And he's going to go for a Graveyard all by itself without any support, and he's gonna actually let the Balloon get a connection on the tower. So this guy potentially throwing here, I mean, I don't think so, but maybe, just maybe, this guy's having a little bit of a throw here. I mean, because if he lets one more Balloon get a shot, all I'm gonna say is that he's letting the game get a lot closer than it should be. But that Tornado he actually didn't need. So Golden Knight is also not going to take out the princesses there. And just like that, this game is, for whatever reason, becoming a lot closer than I anticipated. But right as I say that, we're getting destroyed, and he just needs to Fireball now. So definitely a hard counter. Kind of a strange deck, though. I don't know why he was using this deck. And I'm not just saying it because I lost to this deck. This is a very weird deck. I don't know why you would use Golden Knight and Graveyard in the same deck, because it's so easy to activate the King Tower off of the Golden Knight. And he also, not to mention, has Zap in this Graveyard deck. That's very odd too, because Zap is not, let me tell you guys, Zap is not the synergy that you're looking for. So, very strange Graveyard deck. Not really something you're going to run into, but yeah, definitely an unfortunate matchup, so can't really complain too much about losing that. Let's just head in the next one and try to bounce back from there. Here we go. Next game here. Go ahead and give him good luck and see what this guy's going to do. He's not going to do anything. Okay, he's just going to go Heal Spirit, so we'll go Electric Spirit. Heal Spirit is not something you see a whole lot of. Usually when you see it, though, it's 3M, which could be bad because I don't have a spell to deal with the 3M. But we do have Valkyrie and the Tornado, so we can Tornado them all into the same lane and then go Valkyrie on top. But he's already going to go first 3M really early on. Kind of surprising. So I'll just go Princess here, and I'm probably going to try to Tornado. Okay, I just missed. That's a huge mistake on my end. If I didn't emphasize that enough. I'm going to ignore the Musketeer there on the left because after making a mistake, I don't want to overcommit any more than I have to. And I don't want to go Balloon here, even though his 3M aren't in cycle, because if he's got a Hunter, then that's a stupid idea. I don't know if he's got a Hunter yet. I mean, some three Musketeer decks do have the Hunter, just because they like having, you know, an extra air counter, just in case, you know, the 3M aren't going to be enough. So we actually get the King Tower activated there. Kind of a pro tip if you guys didn't know that. You can do that with the Skeletons and the Electro Spirit. It can kind of be hard timing, and sometimes I mess it up, but pretty good to do if you have the opportunity. So he's calling the good game. Might have messed up with that Elixir Collector there. So the momentum completely changed. I made a huge mistake, and then maybe potential mistake on his end pumping up. But then also, to be fair, really good play on my end going for the King Tower activation. So this game looking very good for us. I am going to have to go Miner here because of the Bandit. If he didn't go Bandit, I probably would have ignored it and just tried to, you know, ensure I had an Elixir lead going into double. But that Bandit forced that Miner out of me, but we save our tower. We got the King Tower activated, and things are looking really, really solid for us. So maybe Elixir Collector was a bit risky of a play there, and on top of that, he didn't end up catching it and protecting it. So another kind of like small mistake on his end, you could say. And I probably should have tornadoed all those musketeers into the same lane now that I think about it, but I guess it's okay. You know, we'll try to, you know, defend anyway, and we probably still can just because I got the Valkyrie. By the way, I let that musketeer purposely lock onto my tower, knowing that he's already dealt so much damage in the other lane. It might have seemed like I did that on accident, but that's intentional. Sometimes splitting, you know, damage is okay, you know, when you try to even things out, because ideally you want both your towers to be around the same, and you can kind of sacrifice one, you know, for the, you know, survival of another tower, if that makes sense. And that was a great game. I didn't think I was going to win that seemingly, you know, kind of easily. Not really that easy, though. I had to do a couple tricks, like getting the King Tower activated off of that Bandit, and then also on top of that, of course, and by the way, that might be because of the Bandit glitch. You might have not been able to do that before the glitch, where the Bandit doesn't get targeted while she dashes, but anyway, it was still a nice King Tower activation regardless, and we'll say probably, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more games, we'll see, and I'll see you guys when I find the next one. In a game here against Japanese player, so Miner in our starting hand. We could just start with Miner, but I think I'll rather... Okay, he's gonna go Barrel, so we'll just Valk. Okay, that was a horrible Valk, but it's okay. You can actually Valkyrie to fully counter the Goblin Barrel if you time it properly, replacing it. I'm sure a lot of you guys might know that. I'm gonna Miner here to try to take out the Rascal Girls, and it might force a response out of him, but maybe he'll just let them die. Oh no, he's actually gonna go Guards, okay. So we'll just Princess here. He's probably gonna log it, so we gotta watch out for that. I'll probably go Electro Spirit, just in case he decided to log, so I could still defend it. And he has Rocket, I'm sure. He's just using Log Bait, Dark Goblin Rocket. So I'm going to actually go in here because he doesn't have his Rascals in cycle. He does have the Princess, though, so Rocket should be coming down here on top of the Balloon, but that's a negative trade, so I don't really care about that, to be honest. I will go Snowball here just to take out the Princess so I don't have to overcommit with the Valkyrie. And then if he goes for a Goblin Barrel, I'll Tornado it and activate the King Tower. I think that's better. The best thing to do in this situation. Because even though I get counter push with a Valk, I think something like Log Bait, it's really nice to have the King Tower activated. So I'm going to have it hovered ready, but it looks like he's not going to go for it. He's going to wait a little while. So he's going to log. So definitely a good time to go for Skeletons here. And he's going to go Dark Gob. So hopefully this Valkyrie can actually take care of the Dark Goblin and then distract the Prince. That was really clutch. Let's go. And I'll go Balloon. And he's probably going to go Rascals on top of it. Yeah, there it is. I could have gone Miner to predict, but I think it's okay. That would have been a little bit of an overcommitment, I'd say, so it's probably a good thing I didn't do that. So he's going to go for a Barrel, and he's going to play it in the safe spot, so I'm unable to Tornado it to the King Tower. So that's well played on his end, and he's going to get a little bit of damage, but I think that's fine. Kind of aggressive Princess there. I'm probably going to go Balloon now and pair it with a Miner. But we'll wait just a second. First, I want to make sure I defend this Prince. So I'll go Princess, and I will have to defend some Miner too, so maybe now I won't actually be able to go in for a Balloon, which is kind of unfortunate, because I really wanted to. Now I'll go for it, though. He's going to have to Rocket it, most likely, but maybe he'll try to do something else. No, he is going to Rocket it, as I originally thought, so I'm going to go Skeletons here to deal with the Dark Goblin. It won't fully counter it, because I kind of misplayed it, but oh well. I'm going to go Balloon here. We're going to switch up to placement. Sometimes it's good to switch up to placement to try to be a little bit... I don't know what you would say, but like, just maybe it causes them to mess it up somehow. And he actually didn't have the Rocket in rotation, so the Balloon is probably going to get a second shot on top of... Oh my gosh, yeah, it does get a second shot. Let's go. And now we could actually activate the King Tower because he decided to play the Barrel a lot lower. And just like that, it's looking like we should be able to win this game. And we don't even have a Log or a Barb Barrel, so this kind of showcases that because your Balloon is just so OP, you can still win. Now, it's probably a little harder if they have a building, like an Inferno, but even then, you still would probably have a small chance. Hopefully the Snowball... Nah, I can't. We have to... Nice. I'm glad I waited to play my skeletons, because I had a feeling he was going to try to predict it or something. Valkyrie is actually going to take out the 2 goblins in the front, so that was a poorly placed goblin barrel in my opinion. He calls the good game, he knows it, and I think I'm just about to know it too, that this is going to be over. I'm going to switch up the miner placement from last time, just to try to, you know, fool him, and he still has to rocket that balloon, because if that balloon gets death damage, it's going to be GG. He lets it get death damage, and we end up getting the win here against log bait, and I don't even have log or barbells, so you can't say that's easy, but at the same time, definitely not hard, because I do have, you know, the snowball, which is super OP after the buff, and the Valkyrie, which she's just super broken. So, really nice win there, really nice video in general, and the video, you know, pretty much around where I started, but I guess that's alright. Some games I didn't show, but I, of course, did show that loss early on. Some of the other games I showed were just not very enjoyable at all. I mean, kind of like the graveyard deck, this game here that I didn't show, complete hard counter. Like, there's nothing I could have really done. Golem arrows, I mean, if he had Golem lightning instead, I could have maybe outplayed him, but if someone's using, like, Golem arrows or, you know, like lava, it's going to be pretty difficult. Because again, I mean, this deck isn't an OP deck. It's not really a broken deck. It's kind of a, I would say it's a pretty high skill deck, even though it has Valkyrie and Balloon, which are both pretty broken. I mean, overall, this deck is definitely hard to play in this meta, so it's not really a deck to use if you're looking for, like, what's, you know, the best deck in the game or the easiest, but maybe one to use if, you know, you're interested in playing these types of decks, or, you know, you're up for a little bit of a challenge. But that'll be it for the video. Make sure to like it if you guys did end up enjoying the video, subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already, and thanks again until next time, guys.